Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Jeff.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Today, I'm so excited because we have the design team from Shadowgate, the Living Castle, in-house. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Carl.
I'm Chris.
Okay, so you guys, we met at a Protospiel
Yes.
that we hosted here in South Bend, and I didn't get to play. I was really sad, but I was so excited to see a Shadowgate board game because I was the kid playing it on Nintendo, renting it over and over and over, and dying constantly.
Yeah, same here. Absolutely.
But loved it. Loved the music. Loved the design. How difficult it was. It was the first game like that I'd ever played.
Yeah.
I always kind of liked horror stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a weird kid, I guess. But
Yeah.
So how did you guys? Yeah. How did this happen for you guys?
Well, so I met the guy who owns the IP. His name is David Marsh. I met him on Facebook with my Shadowgate collection. Like he had posted, like, does anyone still have their old Nintendo game? And I was like, do I? And I had all the sequels, Beyond Shadowgate, Shadowgate 64, the Game Boy one, and things like that. And I showed him off in this collection that I had of just stuff. And he's like, oh, do you care if I share that picture online? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And so he shared it, and then I told him I had missed out on the 2014 version of Shadowgate, the PC version.
Right.
And I said, is there any way? Like, I knew there was a card game that came with it, and I was like, the Quest of Shadowgate. And I was like, I really want the card game because we have a game night every Friday, and it would be awesome to be able to play the card game. So I asked him. I said, is there any way? I missed out on the 2014 version. Is there any way do you have any more? Maybe I could buy from you? And he's like, oh, I'm just going to throw all that stuff in. And he did. He threw in all the extra, like not only the game, the card game, the posters. I told him, I said the only version of that I didn't have of Shadowgate was the Game Boy one in box, and he sent me a sealed one.
Wow!
And I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like,
that
man,
is
that's
so
awesome.
cool.
So we started getting to play the card game, and I was looking for instructions or a video or something, and nobody had a video out there.
Okay.
So I said, hey, and the instructions were kind of hit and miss a little
It
bit.
happens.
Yeah. And so I was like, once I wrapped my head around exactly how to play, I'm like, okay, I get this. I said, do you care if we make a tutorial video for you and maybe do an instructional video and a tutorial? And he's like, yeah, go ahead. So then I did. I created one, and we used Tabletop Simulator. We imported all the card stuff, and he was just blown away. He was like, what kind of magic did you guys do? So then he started talking to us about, like, he asked if I'd ever done a video game commercial, and I was like, no. Well, I could with our movie background, like we could do that, but
Right.
I've never officially done one. But I said it's probably not an issue. So I did one for this game called Argonus and the Gods of Stone that he created, which was a couple years ago, and we just hit it off because he was really interested in all this stuff. And so we were trying to actually pitch Quest of Shadowgate to a producer at Gen Con. And we got to the interview with the person we were going to show it off to, and we said, hold on a minute. The Quest of Shadowgate game was good. It's a good game, but it was not a great representation of Shadowgate.
Okay, right.
So it was one of those things. It was a lot of math.
Sure. So it was a card game with a Shadowgate theme just kind of skinned on there?
Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like.
Okay.
So we were like, you know what? We could do this better. Like, this could be better. So we contacted Dave, said, hey, Dave, do you care if we, like, recreate this game and, like, make it an actual adventure game? Like, make it.
Sure.
And he's like, yeah. I said, okay, well, I need all the assets. So, like, give me all the pictures.
You just wormed your way in.
So he sent us all the assets and things like that. And this is what we came up with a couple iterations later. And it plays pretty good.
Right on. So would you say that you were more inspired by the 2014 like PC version?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the artwork in that by Chris Cole is
It's amazing.
It's phenomenal.
It is absolutely amazing.
And it really captures that gothic horror feel. And, the 8-bit stuff that it translates so well.
Yes. And then they also had an awesome soundtrack for they updated, like, somehow you make that like 8-bit.
Yep.
Goofy kind of digital.
Yeah, Rich Douglas did an amazing job. As a matter of fact, if you check on our website, 317games.com, Rich Douglas actually did a track specifically for the board game. It's called It's called Beyond the Gate, and it's
awesome.
You can listen to it online or you can download it, but it's there for people to listen to.
That's
so
awesome.
So I have a question, and I think this will like kind of segue into our like how to play segment here. But I've just been super curious, wanting to ask this for like a week. How do you decide, because Shadowgate's pretty much like a one-player adventure game.
Yep.
So how do you decide what elements to take from that
and make it a multiplayer?
Yeah, make it multiplayer, and how does that
So
work?
There's two things that work with Shadowgate, and they came out with a book a long time ago. It was like a Scholastics book type thing where it's called Before Shadowgate.
Okay.
And the main character befriends several characters, and it's funny because a lot of those characters showed up in Quest to Shadowgate. So we have the artwork and the characters from that. There were a few new characters, but I think there were 4 characters from the book that made it into the game. Yeah, these 3 for sure, and I think. There's 4. One of the back characters. There's 4 of them.
Because Lakmir is the wizard that introducing you to the castle, right?
Correct.
That sends you on the quest, and that isn't Jer, the guy you actually are.
Correct.
Okay, yeah,
that's correct. Yeah.
Yep.
In the book, he befriends a thief, the Fenling thief here, so you get to release him.
Is he the character from Shadowgate 64, or is that
No,
different?
that's a different guy.
Okay, because it's like a halfling.
Correct.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
Okay.
It's basically the Fenling is kind of like a halfling.
Right. Well, I wasn't sure if there was like, well, we're just going to do our version of the same, like reboot the character, but just this is him now.
But yeah, it's really cool. So the Quest of Shadowgate like incorporated a multiplayer facet to the game where you get to play as your own character. They each have their own abilities and things like that, and we carried that over into this game. And I do want to stress that this is not Quest of Shadowgate. This plays something totally different. So if you've played Quest of Shadowgate, it got a fair review, but this is
way different.
Way different. This is a semi-cooperative adventure game. Everybody is competing for experience points. Whoever has the most experience points by the end of the game becomes the High Lord of the Westland.
Okay.
And throughout the progression of the game, you'll complete quests, you use items and things like that. You'll build the Staff of Ages, and then you'll eventually confront the Warlock Lord.
Sure. Is there much player interaction? So if we're all like semi-co-op, like, are we interfering with each other? Because I know semi-co-op can be like, well, it's co-op, but there's a winner.
Yes, and there will be a clear winner at the end of the game.
Sure.
So, and it is, you can, once per turn, you can trade trade an item if you really wanted to do something like that. So you could. So if someone had like one of the Dijin riddles and they wanted to solve it, and someone else had it, be like, you could really use one of these cards if I could get that. And so once per turn, you can do that.
There's a little bit of bartering in there.
You can also cycle out the quests. So if there's a good quest out there and you think somebody might have it, you could cycle that quest and prevent them from.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
So there is a little bit.
Perfect.
Of,
yeah. Perfect. Because I don't personally mind it, but like sometimes people are like, well, it's just a solitaire game, if there's no player interaction. And then some people don't want any player you can't please everyone, right?
Sure.
So I just like to ask, so then you have an idea and you can say, well, yeah, there's some, like it's like a middle ground, this and that, or it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we play? Give us a.
So basically, whatever you would just pick one of your characters. So you'll notice that there's characters out here. There's ones with stars, and they're usually they're 2-sided.
Oh,
ones
okay.
with the stars are kind of more like introductory characters. Like they're a little bit easier to play. They're not as proficient. Like you'll notice that the characters have 3 proficiencies. They have the strength, like a general or resourcefulness, and then a mental trait.
Okay.
So the ones that don't have the stars are usually a little more weighted on one end or the other.
Sure.
You can see this guy's got 3 general, 3 strength, 3 mental. So these ones are a little more evened out.
Gotcha.
So they play a little bit easier. So what you would do is you would pick a character, you play it on your play mat, and then you would take the character piece. The character piece is what you use to bid on quests, things like as you progress through the game. You lay out 4 quests, and this is a progressive game, so it's not like you can go from quest 1 to quest 3 and just try to run through it.
Right.
You do have to go through the quest cards. They'll start to unlock these.
Like the game.
Yeah.
They'll start to unlock the keep, and then you'll unlock the mines and towers. And what you're trying to do is get to the Great Barrier with the Staff of Ages. If all 3 of these cards are in play, then once you get to the Great Barrier, it unlocks the final quest, which then presents the end of the game.
Sure.
So what everybody would do is they would draw 2 item cards. Any card that you guys get, go into your inventory,
Look at some of these.
and you play them. You play them face up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just say, okay, I have these. It's known. It's a
Correct.
known.
So they'll start down here. There are 5 phases to a turn, and we do have these quick reference cards here. So if any of this is ever in question,
I'll tell you what, guys. As a person who plays and teaches a lot of board games, player aids are amazing.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Big help.
Because it does help. So you've got like equip phase. So if you have something that can be equipped, like you'll see the character has can be equipped with one
One
so
relic,
many relics,
a
weapon, and a magic, or usually 2 of one of those. So for instance, this person can be with 1 weapon and 1 spell. I could use another spell and a relic. But these basically boost your traits and when you're trying to complete quests.
Sure.
But only if they're equipped. So they have
Right.
during your equip phase, if they end up here, that will affect your character. Anything in your inventory just kind of stays
Just
there.
in your pocket.
Yep. There are certain cards that play the relics usually give you an added bonus, like an extra ability. So what you would do is then your second phase is your action phase. You can basically play cards from here. You can play cards they can answer a Dijon riddle. You can do various things.
Sure.
And then comes the quest phase. So what happens is at the start of the game, you'll have flip 4 of these quests over.
I love it. I recognize the versions of this from
the
all of
8-bit
these
game.
from the NES
Yes.
game.
And that, Chris Cole did an amazing job doing the translation of
I mean, this is
versions.
literally you walk in the door, you fire the game up, right?
Yep.
You hit start.
Yep,
and
you
that
walk in
is
the
what
front
you
door
see.
and you got these 2 blazing eyes looking at you.
Yes.
And it's trying to taunt you, and that's basically what this one does. This one stays out for an entire round. You've got 4 different types of quests that you can get.
Okay.
The black bordered ones are just the general quests. These are things that you'll do, you'll complete them by completing this section here on the left.
Sure.
If you can pay for that, I've got a fire here,
Mhm.
I could use that, discard it, and complete this quest.
Right.
Your reward would be an item card and an elemental token, so I could take one of these.
Okay.
And so this would go into my completed quests, and it's worth 5 experience points
Oh, right.
at the end of the game.
Yep.
Okay. Nice.
So, like I said, the whole point is to get as much experience as possible.
Right. Those are your victory points, right?
Yes, and there are ways of getting more experience points per quest. If you wanted to, you'll notice this little symbol down here. If you have an item card, if I had an item card
With that symbol?
equipped with that symbol, I could
Like these.
I could put say this card here into my completed quest with the quest and get the experience.
Get
points for
extra.
that.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Right on.
So there are ways of getting quest bonuses, is what it's
But
called.
then you lose the item, right?
You then lose the item though.
Sure.
So
Well, that's fine.
it does take a little bit
Risk
of
and
strategy
rewards.
because
Sometimes you have to put the frozen sphere into the lava.
Yes.
Or to the water,
Yeah,
water, freeze
no.
the shark.
Yeah.
and-
So for instance, this one gives me a +2 to my intelligence if I have it equipped. So for me to sacrifice that, it does give me if this were going in here,
Right.
it would give me an extra 10 experience points, which is nice. But then I lose my.
But now you
Correct.
don't have that trait bonus
Correct.
anymore. Right. I like it.
Yep.
I like
So
it.
we've got the general quests. The ones with the red borders that you see here are events. These are things that happen immediately as soon as they're played.
Okay.
This one is a negative one. This one gives -1 to all your stats for an entire round.
Sure.
So
Oh,
whatever phase it was revealed in, that's the phase. Once it comes back to, that's when it gets discarded.
Sure.
And then everybody gets their stats back. Of course. So once that does go away, you would just put this off to the side somewhere.
Sure.
This and I told you how there was a progressive. You can't go to quest 2 unless you unlock it, right?
Right.
That's what this card does.
Yep.
It's kind of lucky we pulled it right as we did, but that unlocks this section. So now when you go to replace these quests, you can pick from either one of these.
Sure.
stacks.
Sure.
So
And they get progressively more difficult.
they do get progressive more
But
difficult.
you wouldn't be able to unless this
You need this-
specific card was played.
Yes,
you need that to proc
Alright.
to do it.
correct.
And what's in each of these quests?
Yes. So anybody who's played Shadowgate, do you remember how do you defeat the Warlock Lord?
The Warlock Lord. What do you do? Well,
What do you use to beat him with?
you need the Staff of Ages,
The
right?
Staff of Ages, right? So in each one of the quest stacks is one piece of the staff.
Okay.
So you have to get
Oh,
one piece of staff from here, one piece of staff from here, one piece of staff from here. And once you collect the third one, that's again when you get to the Great Barrier. That's when it unlock. And then we've got these the staff cards right here give you +1 to one of your stats, as long as it's equipped. We
Right.
do have
The
foil versions.
Really rad foil
Yeah,
versions.
we're hoping to have the foil versions for the Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going to be just available outright, or if we're going to have to hit them as a stretch goal. That would be our first stretch goal.
Sure.
The foil cards. They look gorgeous in real life.
They really do.
Right.
They
Oh
really do.
yeah.
So very shiny, very cool. But yeah, and you would draw one of those randomly, whichever one you get to use.
So you don't need to have the Staff of Ages yourself to do the
Nope.
final quest?
No.
This just needs to happen for
Yes.
this to happen.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody can have the staff. There are ways of there's one way of being able to steal a staff item from people, but
Sure.
most of the time, if you get a staff item, that's usually yours to keep.
Gotcha.
So, so I'm gonna skip through these so I can show you some of the other. Actually, there's the one for this. This is how you get a staff piece.
Oh,
if you-
right on, yeah.
So. If you complete that quest. Oh, here we go. So a purple bordered one is a monster quest, or
Nice.
I should say more like it's a monster quest. That basically, when you defeat it, you get a puzzle item. Everything that you get, as far as item cards, goes face up into your inventory, right?
Mm-hmm.
The puzzle items do not. You don't show anybody which one you have,
Oh, nice.
Oh.
because the thing is, if you get a puzzle item and let's say the puzzle shows up, which is a blue bordered card. Oh, there's the Wraith room. which
You'll
is
want
awesome.
to.
Mm-hmm.
You'll want to be the one to get that. Right?
Now, in the old game, you just stick the torch in the Wraith. You're good.
Correct. Yeah. I'm trying to find an actual puzzle.
You're fine,
one.
yeah.
But it's a blue. It's like the blue bordered one is a puzzle card. So if you had the skeleton key, and I do want to point out in the quest phase, you do have the option that if you don't like any 4 of those that are out there, like say no one has the puzzle piece, during your turn you can cycle out a card. You put it at the bottom of the stack, and then you can open up another one.
We have a host on the show that will appreciate that because that is a complaint about a lineup, and he doesn't like
Yes.
any of the cards. And it's
Yeah,
like, whoa,
and
just
that's
stuck
and
with
that's
them.
the thing. So you can do that once per turn and still complete a quest.
Okay,
You can do
awesome.
it a second time, but you forfeit being able to complete a quest.
That's
Oh,
nice.
it's-
That's good. So you're
yeah.
not burning up your whole turn just to maybe give somebody else a better card.
correct.
So you could, get in somebody's way by
Or-
cycling another card.
Or yeah, I think you're gonna want that one, and it's like, well, let's just get rid of that guy. See you
a little
later.
bit of risk and reward again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can dig it. That's a
Yeah.
nice mechanic.
And we do have the character pieces, and the tokens would be like, so if I needed to roll for something, that's just your it's like signaling, hey, this is what I'm bidding
That's
on.
where I'm at. Yeah.
And in order, basically what you do in order to complete the quest for something like this that has like a number to one of your stats.
Okay.
So for instance, this one here, I have a 1 on my general.
Right.
This one costs 3. You roll 2 dice. I have to roll a 2. And these are 0, 1s, and 2s on the dice. Have to roll a 2.
Oh.
I rolled a 0.
You roll like I do.
Yes. So now here's something interesting. You'll see that some of these have purple, and some of them have red.
Okay.
A purple, if you fail it, moves your torch down 1.
Oh, nice.
The torch goes down 1 after every round.
Right. Right.
But if you fail a purple one, it goes down 1 more, which can really
Wow.
put a damper on things. If you fail a red one,
Uh-huh.
you get a death card. It's a sad thing that your adventures have ended here.
You're not playing Shadowgate though, right? If you don't die, like at least
Correct.
one.
You know, it's funny. The 2014 version of the game, I don't know if you knew this or not, but has a counter on their website. Every time you die in the computer version of the game, it actually sends a ping to their site.
I think
and
I
adds
saw
it to a
that.
counter.
I think I saw that. That was so good.
That's
It's
so
good.
mean,
Yeah.
but I kind of like it
I
too.
love it.
In the 2014 version, there's like hidden deaths and stuff like that. They're like special
Find
ways
goofy
to
ways
yeah,
to die,
find
right?
goofy
Like
ways to
stab
die.
yourself or set
Yeah.
yourself on fire or something like that.
just crazy stuff. And so we definitely wanted to introduce death to the game to make
Yeah.
a thing. Now, death in the game is not a finality. It's not something that basically ends your game.
Well, sure, because in
Right.
Shadowgate you die all the time.
Right, you die all the time, and you kind of start back where you right
Right.
before you died. All it does is basically at the end of the game, it counts toward negative experience points.
Nice. I can dig it. So there's
So-
no player elimination, but
Correct.
you just.
There's no player elimination. So again, it's
And does this give everyone a death card then?
everyone gets a death card if the torch, if the torch hits 0.
Oh, that's
everybody,
so good.
Everybody gets a death card.
Right on.
So remember, after every time it goes down 1, right? So after every round, or if you fail a purple one, it goes down. So we'll get back to the orange 5, but basically, if you reach like 3, 2, or 1,
The music changes.
the music, yeah, you know, the music changes.
Yes.
So
Dun,
you
dun,
roll,
dun,
you roll
dun.
one of the red dice, and it would be a -1 to everybody's.
Oh, right, because there's just
It gives a little more
tension, right?
tension to
Yes.
the game. And then, so then every time we would roll, you'd roll 1 down, and it would just change to whatever you rolled.
All right, so I'm biased because I was in at Shadowgate,
Sure.
but like you guys, the theme is so strong here. This isn't like, oh, I could just take any D&D thing and just slap it on this. Like this is very Shadowgate. Like,
Like I said, Chris Cole, the guy who did the artwork, he just did a fantastic.
Well, the artwork's amazing too, but the gameplay, like the way the gameplay functions, makes sense
Right.
if you know the computer
Right,
game
and
or the
that's-
video games.
That's what we wanted to do, was really make it.
Not to diss Quest of Shadowgate, right? But to like
Right.
actually make
We
a
wanted to
Shadowgate.
we wanted to do the IP justice. We wanted
Right.
to make sure that it felt like an adventure game. It felt like
Yes.
so you're completing quests, you're getting experience points, you're yeah, you might die a couple times, but
Sure.
You
but
get
that's-
items in your inventory.
You get items in your inventory. You can start getting a lot of items and things like that. Which
So
do
there's
different
no
things.
limit down here, but there is a limit to what you can equip.
Correct.
Oh, interesting.
Right on.
And we do want to point out that there's two things that for each character that you should notice. One, each one has their own ability, which is this guy up here.
Asymmetric player powers. We love that.
So this one, she's an archer, so if she's equipped with any ranged weapon, she gains a permanent plus as long as it's equipped. Most of the time, a ranged weapon, to use it, you would have to sacrifice it to be able to get a bonus, as where she'll just gain the bonus without having to sacrifice it.
Nice.
So it makes a pretty nice game. And then you'll see this ability down here with the red star. What that is basically if you can equip all 4 of your equipped items, like if you can fill each spot, it will produce something that happens
Oh,
for
sure.
your character. So it's like a bonus.
So they're all fully equipped is always what triggers, but then
Correct.
each one is unique to
Yes.
depending on the.
Right.
Oh yeah, so he gets a puzzle item. That's awesome.
Item card, it looks like.
Search for one,
Oh, search for that.
That's even better.
Okay, yeah.
and then just get 2.
And what does your cleric do, Catalia?
So Catalia, basically at the end of the game, she's a cleric, and at the end of the game, I can discard 2 of these.
Oh,
So I can.
fantastic.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's a point swing there. That's
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
good. That's
Yep.
pretty powerful.
Yep.
They're all powerful, I guess, in their own
And-
way.
The cool thing is that we talking to Dave Marsh. Dave Marsh wanted to introduce Lieutenant Kahu, which is the if you remember the werewolf
Yep.
chick.
Yep.
And so she's a playable character, but she's a bad guy. You can play as this is going to be a Kickstarter exclusive. And what it is, she's a flip card. So her stats are 2 general and 2 mental as a human. And then every time an event card is played, you can choose to flip the card over, and it becomes a 2 attack
Nice.
and 2 general. So you can see how so if you could see well, I wish I had more
Right.
attack power. As soon as an event's played, be like, yep, I'm getting more attack power.
Right. Well, it's funny because I had I remember this character is different in the NES game, and then they
You're right. Yeah, they made her the damsel in
properly
distress.
probably
Yeah.
updated her, properly for the 2014 version. But then I saw on the website, the other day I was looking at the website and I saw that you guys had this as a character, but I didn't know how she functioned or what she did. That's awesome.
You get to play as the bad guy. So when she becomes fully equipped, she gets to force every player to discard a card from their inventory or
Oh, wow.
of your choice.
Oh,
so either
nice.
their equipped items or their
That's awesome.
anything but a staff item.
See, yeah, that sounds like a fun thing to me. The problem will be everyone fighting to be the.
It's a good one. However, the one other cool thing too is we also contacted Chris Cold, and I'm paying him personally to create 2 new characters for the game.
Oh,
as a
excellent.
Kickstarter exclusive. Again, we're gonna end up having 3 new characters for the Kickstarter exclusive. One is Raven. She's the mage that was supposed to be in a Nintendo 64 version of Shadowgate called Shadowgate Rising.
Okay.
She was
Oh,
supposed to be the main character for
Is
that.
that
There's
like
a comic book out there.
the sequel that never happened, right?
Correct. And she was the main character. They have a comic book out there. You can find it on Zojo's website of the whole thing, kind of the beginning of it. And the other one is a character named Shan Ra. He's a what they call a tie-in character. He's a lion man type character.
Oh, okay, sure.
He showed up in the Before Shadowgate book as well.
Okay.
And he's a ranger, but he's a you can basically customize him. So he starts with 1 and 1 instead of having maybe 2 1 and 1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to basically customize him. You get to start with 2
Nice.
of
and
your
you just
choice.
pick.
You can make him whatever you want to do.
That's awesome.
So
Ooh.
so makes him, and then once he gets fully equipped, you get to take another one.
Nice.
So-
nice. Stat boosts are always
Sure.
excellent.
Yeah,
Always excellent.
So it's it's gonna be really fun the diversity of things you can do and how
Right.
you can play it.
Right. No, this. So I was excited at the Proto Spiel when I saw it, and I didn't have time to sit down and play it. I was fortunate to get to play a different game years later, but I was really excited, kind of hovering, looking.
Yeah,
and you guys
sure.
had the Shadowgate posters out and
Yeah.
everything. But to sit down and actually get the full, how it works and what it does, and just, yeah, this looks really good to me.
Yeah, no, with the setup that you have, I'm a fan of those point and click, games like Shadowgate or even King's Quest or something.
Oh,
like
sure.
that. And not to knock the uniqueness of Shadowgate or anything, but I could see this being not necessarily reworked, but molded to other adventure games
Yeah.
if you wanted to do that,
Yeah.
which is a really interesting system. I'm not sure you could do that with other board game systems.
I'd
you
love
know?
to do Uninvited as a.
Oh
game.
yeah, that's
Oh.
another good one. That's another a classic Nintendo. Did
Yep.
they do other versions of Uninvited?
Well,
to go on a
they
tangent.
do have. There was a PC version, like a Macintosh version, and then
Okay.
the Nintendo version. I don't think they moved past
And
that.
yeah, right. Not like extra, like for future console. thing,
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause I just remember that old Nintendo cover, like the skeleton
Yeah. That's
coming out of the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very very cool. Very iconic.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, you guys got lucky, right? Well, not necessarily lucky, but you got all the art. Like
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
here you go. Here's
Yeah,
all
I
the
did.
art
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. The only one I had to pay for was this one. So
That's not bad, man. That is not bad because the art is
So-
fantastic. The
Yeah.
Shadowgate art.
I was gonna ask. These are all like assets from like the game, then,
yes. Yep.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of the
Yeah.
computer game,
right?
You recognize.
Who did the art for the game?
Chris Cole did.
Chris Cole. Okay.
And yeah.
In case anyone wants to look that up.
Yeah, there's
Right.
yeah. Like I said, you can see the artwork for all this stuff on our website, 317 Games. And
so how long did it take for you guys to put all this together?
this has gone through at least 2 or 3 iterations. We were originally trying to make a like a Betrayal at House,
Okay.
something
Yeah.
like that type of game where it was
Interesting.
characters moving
You-
through
you
the castle, and
go through the
every
castle.
time you would play, it would play differently. You'd get the
Right, 'cause
the living castle.
Right,
So it's always
right.
changing.
It does. It would, in theory, lend itself to that theme.
Yeah, it was just hard to like get past how it just did. It was copying.
The puzzles were hard to complete with
They were-
random tiles and random
was
Because you're not getting the
items.
stuff you need,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So you're,
it was
it's a-
very difficult. And then after we play tested, and we're like, this isn't working at all. Like stop. And then we were like, okay, let's think about this. How can we make this so it's more of an adventure? It's
Sure.
not so.
You
'cause
still
you
get
would
to
get
keep
from
the
here to
random
here.
aspect
So
too.
we
Yeah.
pulled on
Yeah.
the Quest of Shadowgate with the points and the stats.
Yes.
So
And then it was like, okay, how about we do it this way? And then we kind of just drew it up and said, okay, what if we did this, and where you could cycle out? And it was like, that makes way more sense.
Sure.
Do you want to explain the Djinn riddles? Like you
Oh, yeah, we
guys,
have
you guys familiar with the Sphinx riddle and the
Yeah.
original? Well, it's
and then
the
they
Djinn
replaced it,
with
yeah,
Djinn.
with
yeah, so there's cards in there that let
see
you.
it.
Well, we have one right there.
Oh, yeah.
Let you reveal a
So-
Djinn riddle.
Right. So every time you unlock one of these, you also get to draw a Djinn riddle.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's. I'll read this here. It's the question is I'm higher than the king. What am I? And the answer is a crown.
Crown.
And you actually have the item
Bam.
there. Is the crown. So you have the answer. So you have the option of answering this riddle. So
During your turn.
Yep, during action or resolve phase, you can. So the reward would be you take an item from each other player, one item card, one
Wow.
staff,
You can take a staff item. with
staff
that
item,
card.
or random puzzle item.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So this would go in your completed quests. You get
Okay.
experience, and
Then
it-
you lose the crown because you give it to
Right.
the,
This goes with this in your
Oh,
completed
in
quest,
there.
and you would gain an extra.
and then so you score those points as well.
Yep. So it would be
It's-
worth 20 points.
Again, just like the video game, right? Because it's like, well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna give. He's asking for an item.
Yeah.
And so you either go back and try to find that item,
Yeah.
or figure out if you already have that item in your
Yeah.
inventory. That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
some of the
So-
Djinn riddles were pretty good.
So if you give the Djinn one of your items, would that stop you from using, like, is there a quest that uses that specific item as well? And would that stop you from doing that? Or no?
there are there's the type of item. It's a relic, and you could cash that in for
Like
extra
this right here.
experience.
So
See,
instead of
for-
instead of a quest specifically asking for the king's crown, there might be a quest that asks for a relic.
Correct.
So then you're
yeah,
giving
that's
a
what
relic.
it could be more like. It's
Yeah.
never going to ask for.
I guess I should have asked,
stuff.
are the
But-
items multi-use?
They
Depends.
Some
yeah,
are.
Yeah,
they
more,
can.
mainly for the
This one is.
mainly
Yeah,
for the
that one is, yeah.
mainly for the Djinn riddles.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
And they're all specific to whether they're a pair of glasses or a map or.
So did you guys the riddles? Are those riddles straight out of the game, or did you guys come up
a lot
with
of them
some?
are from the game, but we had to come up with a couple extra ones.
Okay.
So
And then to solve the rooms, so like the text on the quest cards, I mean, it looks like the descriptor for when you walk into the
Correct,
room,
and it
right?
is.
Like that's
That's
what
like a
happens.
test.
And then you guys just kind of worked out like a thematic way to how would we this. So we walk into the crypt, right? You're just going through the video game script, right? You go into the crypt, and then you guys go, okay, so like, what is our quest? Like, what do we need?
Yep.
How does it apply? Like, what's it like to?
So like that wraith.
yes, so you've got the
Right.
Banshee here. The
Mhm.
Banshee, like if in the game 2014, the Shadowgate, when the banshee shows up, you're cursed.
Right.
As a matter of fact, if you fail this quest, not only do you lose a torch, but you get the curse token. And the curse token basically is you roll the red dice -1. So you would take one of these
Flip it
-1,
over.
and that's yours until you can get rid of it.
Nice.
Interesting.
So it's a one point penalty.
That
so.
is what would happen to me too.
Yeah. It happened. I think it happened yesterday when we were playtesting. So
Nice.
it
And then that quest is live whether you pass or until
it's
pass
completed.
it. Right. Okay.
Ah.
Until it's completed. So and then if it does become completed, you just take it, put it in and then your phase after your quest phase is your resolve phase.
Okay.
You can, again, if you wanted to answer the riddle, you could answer that on your resolve phase.
Okay.
Or play any other general items.
Because you might have drawn a card from completing a quest that was an answer, so you have another
Like,
chance.
oh, now I can do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you would just replace it, the quest at the end, at your end phase. So I can pick from either one of these two and then just put it right there.
So is it like, let's just say, is it in turn order then? Like, so if I'm the first player, I'm gonna go there, and so that's gonna stop you guys from going there as well.
You only put that on there when it's your turn. That's when you bid.
Okay.
So, and these also do have another purpose later. We'll talk about the final quest.
Okay, sure. But so I mark here. I'm gonna try to do it, pass or fail. So if I pass, it goes away. Another one does not come out until the resolve phase or the end phase.
Yes.
So that's one less quest for everybody else to choose from. Now, if I fail, I come back, and then somebody else has the opportunity to go and do it. Okay.
Yep.
And it's also a way to keep track of where you're playing and for other players to help keep the other players accountable. Make sure that they're rolling for the right quests. And and say, oh, well, this would have been.
Well, I would have applied. I could have done this
Yeah.
one. I'll just finish this one instead. No, I like it. No, that's good.
Yeah, and the thing too is also to just make sure you look at the different just read the cards carefully, and they'll tell you what your rewards are, and they maybe how a specific card is played.
Sure.
They don't usually get too complicated. There's one in there that is a little wordy, but you remember the Dragon's Den?
Oh yeah.
Where it shoots the fire.
Yep. Pick the shield up first.
Well, exactly. So, for instance, we have the Dragon's Den in here, and the Dragon's Den basically is, in order to complete the quest, you have to take a puzzle item. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Oh.
But if you take it, you get a death card. If you can prevent it with an item card that's your shield, if you could prevent it, you sacrifice that, then you get to draw an extra item card.
Wow. Nice.
So, like I said, just pay attention to the wording of it, but it's usually not too bad.
That's awesome. Again.
And trying to make it feel like it's part of the game. You know, it's like
no.
The first
Again,
thing you do is you
right?
grab the shield, right? You
Right.
have to grab the shield or you die.
Exactly. No. Again, like you put it. I put it down, and I'm like, yep, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So yeah. I think it's easy enough that people that have not played Shadowgate, or not familiar with the IP, can figure it out. But for me, again, I was already in because I was a fan of previous stuff, and the fact that this stays on that theme and in that world, like it's not just slapped on, right? This isn't just Ticket to Ride with for the Shadowgate theme, which would be interesting.
We've been working on these variations for what, a year?
Yeah, about a year. Yeah.
So working through the puzzles and the points.
I mean, even as of yesterday, we've came up with about maybe 5 different things that probably need to be tweaked a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, during our playtesting. So, but it's really close. So I was like, if once we make this, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much going to be it.
You got it. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So okay, so you want to tell us about the final quest?
So the final quest. So let's say each one of us finally has our own staff pieces.
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, so also the staff pieces do connect.
Give you
that you can play them as one, so you could stack them.
So if you get 2, you could
can
put them
stack
together.
Because you're building the staff,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So now, once you get to the Great Barrier, once the Great Barrier is out in play, no other. Everybody gets one more round to complete the quest.
Mm-hmm.
They get a chance to complete the quest, or maybe equip something if they wanted to. Play out one more extra turn. Once that entire turn is over, everybody takes their character token piece, and then they bid on a final quest.
Okay.
It's random.
Yeah. Right.
So and you can pick the same one if you
Sure.
wanted to. And so someone pick this one here, or
right.
they could, let's say they doubled up here. Okay. So then what you would do is you would reveal it, and it's negative 25 points.
Ouch.
This one's worth 50 points.
Oh, you chose
Oh,
wisely.
man.
25.
Okay. I did okay, but not as good as you guys.
So obviously, at the end of Shadowgate, you have the choice of hitting the Warlock Lord or the Behemoth,
Right.
things like that. You get
Right.
killed,
So I see. I hit the Warlock Ward. Yeah, and you hit the Behemoth.
right. So, and that's basically, and then that would trigger the end where basically you would go through, add up all your points here, add up that, subtract any death cards, and then whoever
Right.
has the most points,
Right.
is the
Yep.
And
the
then
Westland.
how many final quest cards? Or is it only those 3?
Right
and
now
you
it's
just
only
shuffle
those
them up
3.
and you
Correct.
lay them out.
Yep,
and
you
it's
shuffle
like,
them out, lay them out, and then
So-
it's random.
when you're teaching the game, go, hey guys, okay, heads up, it's going to be one of these 3.
Yeah. So and some people are like, well, that seems fine, but it seems a little too random. And one of the things, there are 2 Djinn riddles that can help out with this. There's one for, like, if you have the glasses. When basically what it does is it allows you to if you answered that, you get to look at one of those cards
Nice.
and put it back. But you're the last person
To vote.
to vote, to bid on the final
Oh,
quest.
okay.
Because if you put one down, and everybody knew what you knew it,
Right.
then,
That's a good balance.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then it gives you more of a 50-50 shot if you were to pick
Sure.
something. The other one is a key. The key, if you answer it with a key, you gain the Djinn token,
Okay.
and you get to bid twice.
Whoa.
You can pick 2 different ones, or you can pick 2 on the same
Sure.
one.
So if you're really lucky and got the glasses, I mean,
Yeah.
it takes some
Yeah.
real luck,
Yeah.
which would not happen to me.
Yeah, yesterday, my buddy John over here, he got this, and he picked that one in death, so he ended up with 25 points instead of.
That's not bad. It's still a net gain, right?
Yep.
That's cool. Because I was gonna ask if there was a way to peek.
There is, through the Djinn riddle, and there is actually a Djinn room where the room you actually get to see the Djinn,
Mm-hmm.
and allows for each one of the players to be able to get their own Djinn riddle card.
Okay,
too.
perfect.
So it cycles through a little bit more of them.
Yeah, only you may answer it. Draw one. Only you may answer. And so then if you answer, you get.
If you roll 4, so in order to get one, you have to have a 4 intelligence.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, to do that quest.
If you fail it, you get a death card because the Djinn can kill you too.
Right.
So if I were rolling that, I would have gotten one. Cool, I get my own
Sure.
card, and then everybody gets a chance after that.
Okay.
So it's not just limited to whoever starts it gets to start it, but
Okay,
everybody
cool.
gets a chance to get one.
Very cool.
So
You don't have to either.
yeah, you can
You
say
could just-
nope. You're like, nope.
I don't have
Like
that. I don't
you could be
have
you could be a
stats.
the character with 0 intelligence. Be like, no, you have to roll a 4.
I may be dumb, but I'm smart enough
Have
to
to
stay
roll
away
a 4.
from that.
So
I like it.
yeah.
I like it. So, just a question, I guess, as a gamer.
Yeah.
So the final event, I mean, that could be the top card, it could be the bottom card,
So
or
what
anywhere in
so
between.
what triggers it is let's say not all the staff pieces were found.
Yep.
So he kind of mentioned it earlier, but if all the staff pieces aren't
Out in
solved,
play.
yeah,
This immediately gets cycled.
Oh, okay.
It goes
Okay.
to the
Yeah,
bottom.
you did
Okay.
say that you had to have all 3
Yep.
to
It
do
goes,
that.
It goes to the bottom, and then you would just cycle it. Next card comes up.
Sure. Okay.
Until it finally is gain, and then you can start the.
Right on. Right on.
but there are ways to shuffle the decks through cards, so it could change.
Could pop back up, float
Yeah.
back up to the top, and do
Yeah.
things like that.
Sure.
I mean, you guys covered a lot of.
And the cool thing is every game's going to play differently. Depending on the character you pick, depending on the items you draw,
Yeah, like
the dice rolls.
the dice
Di-
rolls.
dice rolls. You can customize some stuff in different ways. Yeah, quests are going to come out in different orders. That the timing of your items and stuff.
Yeah, and to be like I said, the 3 reference cards basically explain how the game is played. So if
Right.
you had any questions throughout the game, like this would be a great.
You've got the
Cool.
and reference cards, man.
Yep.
Player aids are so good. Love player aids. I
Okay.
can't stop looking at those. I
Okay.
know I'm so excited about those.
All right, so some things have transpired, which are really exciting to us. So, for the Kickstarter, we're going to be offering several different things. One of which is there's a Kickstarter exclusive expansion
Okay.
that adds 12, I think 4 more quests
Mm-hmm.
to this, and then it adds 5 new item cards that are special items that can be equipped on like any one of your slots.
Sure.
And there's a couple more puzzle items and things like that. So that's gonna be really cool. Just kind of adds more of a complete feel to some of the rooms that may be missing from the 2014 game. The second thing is we contacted Chemco.
Yes.
So Chemco, we've signed an agreement with them, and they're gonna let us produce 2 8-bit sets. One of them is a replacement set. So you could go through and replace like the Dragon's Den with the 8-bit
With the 8-bit
version.
card.
Yeah. Okay, I got to bring them out. You guys got to see them.
I mean,
So, so like things like this.
yes,
You get to
the Wraith.
the Wraith room, the Fire Drake, the cavern entrance. Very iconic
Yes.
stages. The mirrors,
Mirrors.
Yeah, don't
the
pick
Dragon's
wrong
Den.
one. Yeah.
The Cyclops, the library. Then so it goes. These are ones that replace cards instead of having the Djinn.
Right.
You get the Sphinx
You
again.
get the Sphinx.
So there's the Great Barrier card.
Mhm.
So Lieutenant Kahu there.
Right. Right.
So that's the replacement set. It also comes with replacement Final Quest cards.
Oh, yep. Perfect.
It comes with a couple replacement puzzle cards: the Bladed
Awesome.
Sun, the Platinum Horn,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 staff pieces,
And they're foil.
Yeah,
the,
they're foil.
yeah, and then the death cards.
The death cards, right?
the 8-bit death.
That is a very familiar face from my
Very
gaming
iconic.
experience.
Very, very iconic. So that's going to be one of the first expansion. The second 8-bit set is an expansion one.
Okay.
So again, it adds 4 more quests per, including things like the troll bridge and I think the fountain, the wishing well
Oh,
puzzle.
yep.
This one, if you complete it, you'd get to draw a Djinn riddle and immediately answer it for free.
Nice.
It's really cool.
That's perfect.
So you got the Hellhound,
Right.
the Abyss, Lava Lake, Waterfall. Like I said, a lot of these
So
things
good.
that are, again, iconic to the
Right.
game. It comes with also 5 new items that get shuffled in there, and then these again can be placed on any of the slots.
Sure.
Comes up with 3 new puzzle items, and more. Basically, you could swap out your entire death card. if you
Right,
wanted
right
to.
on,
Or you
right
could
on.
add that many if you think you're going to die that much.
Probably.
So, but yeah, so there's plenty of cards, plenty of
Because not
like-
that the new art isn't just fantastic and amazing, but like that nostalgia bug,
it
right?
is.
Yes.
That's
You gotta get that fix.
we
part of
absolutely had to. And like I said, I'm really thankful that Chemico was able to work with us.
That's
to be able to
awesome
get
that they did that. Yeah.
Because it would have been cool if we could have gotten the 8-bit version of the art or the cover art for the box, but
Yeah.
that may be going a step too far with it. So
Well, I would say that it's a nice balance, right? Because the updated art is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very. I mean, there's just not a lot of games that look like this.
Yeah.
Even the PC one, because I went back and looked at a bunch of the PC stuff because I was really thought about buying it for myself because
Yeah.
I was like, well, my PC can't handle it. Oh, it's on Switch. Like, oh, okay, I've got a device that I could play this on.
Yep.
And but yeah, the old Nintendo. You know, I mean, I'm old. It hits me. It hits me in
Yeah.
the feels.
Yep, it definitely tickles that funny bone for sure. So
But yeah. Well, this is awesome, guys. So Kickstarter, like,
we're looking to have the Kickstarter up Gen Con next year.
right on.
We want to
Set your calendars.
Some-
Check mark your calendars.
something. Yeah, we were going to do it Gen Con this year.
Yeah.
Got canceled.
Right, life gets in the way sometimes.
Yep.
World events.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, like, it sounds like though you're using that time wisely, right? Just fine tuning, refining.
Absolutely.
So no wasted.
It gave us time to get additional artwork. That track got created, so it's been beneficial. It's been
Sure,
good.
sure. And then you guys are just self-publishing via Kickstarter.
Correct.
With the blessing of all the original Shadowgate IP.
And that's that's the really cool thing. We've got the composer that did the music
Right.
on board. We got the original artist on board. We got the guys who own the IP on board. We got Chemco on board.
Right.
Like we got everybody who had anything to do with Shadowgate on board with and helping us
Yeah,
with this. So,
that's awesome. That's so awesome.
And the game was always going to be a Shadowgate game, right? It was not going to be like your own thing. They
Correct,
just
no,
were like, no, this could be Shadowgate.
No, yeah,
So-
this was something we completely brain. And the funny thing is, I can't think of a game that plays like this.
I don't know of one that plays like this.
Yeah,
There is enough unique things, right? Because, like, I mean, I play a lot of board games. I have a lot of board games.
Yep.
There's sometimes where it's like, well, this game basically just replaces this game in my collection. I like this.
Yep.
These games do the same thing. Which one will I keep?
Yeah,
Right.
and that's what we didn't want to do. We didn't want to make another Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Right. It's a fine game by itself, but yeah, if you're not going to
Sure.
drastically or dramatically improve on
Right.
like that
Yeah.
that whole
It
thing.
didn't want someone looking at it and go like, well, it's just another Betrayal at House on the Hill game. Like,
Right.
It's like it would have been cool to have an adventure game like that. It's just we couldn't get it to play that way. I'm sure there's probably a way to make it that way.
Sure.
But we thought this one was fine.
Well, and this lends itself to at least, I mean, what 3 out of the 4 that I have seen of the Shadowgate implementations. I would say the TurboGrafx one is way different.
Yeah.
Because of the it's like almost like a side scroller, right?
Yes.
And then, wait, I got a question about that one.
Yep.
Because I was watching some videos. Do they really just give the behemoth a ping pong paddle or a paddle ball?
Thing,
or the monster at the end, and then he just goes away?
That's one of the endings.
Oh, okay. So I saw ending.
Yes,
okay.
there are 4 endings to the game.
Because I was watching this playthrough,
Yep.
and I saw that happen,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah,
wait,
that's like
I
the,
double
the
checked
joke.
my beverage.
That's the joke ending. You,
okay.
you hand the Warlock Lord a ping pong paddle, and he just and then he just goes
and then he just
away.
sinks down.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It makes like a goofy face, and
yeah, it makes it really goofy.
And to be fair to TurboGrafx, whenever you have like a really popular IP that gets ported to that specific console, for whatever reason, it seems like they do something very strange and not like the original game.
a little goofy.
Yeah.
This one is definitely different than the other Shadowgate games. All the other Shadowgate games are more point and click type adventures.
Right, because even the N64 one, right? You're walking. You're actually like walking around, and it looks really neat. But you're still like doing the same thing. You're solving the puzzles.
And technically, beyond Shadowgate, you still do that too. You can still point at things, click things, take, use, and then you got your inventory. Use it on this and thing. It does the exact same thing, but it just has a 2D side-scrolling element.
Sure. But no, you guys picked the right one to
yeah, right. Yeah.
to emulate. So okay, we've talked a ton about Shadowgate. I want to hear about some of your other projects you guys got going on.
Okay, so before we had Shadowgate going, we had another game that we're working on. It's more of a family game, which is tonally totally different.
We got this dark gothic.
It's like, but we have a family game of basically, if you want to show it up, it's Trick or Treat. It's again a family game that basically sets up. If you've ever been trick or treating, you already know how to play the game.
Right.
It's literally Trick or Treat the experience in a board game fashion, and it's really. It was something that just seemed easy to do. And it was very it
just seemed right. And
yeah.
So I got to play this at Protospill. I didn't get to play the game I was so excited to see, but I got to play Trick or Treat, and I played it with my wife. I don't remember if my daughter was with us when we played it or not, but like just the idea that you set up like basically 2 rows of tiles and you're just walking around the block.
Yep.
And then you're going to choose what side of the street you're on, you know, for the different houses.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, you can't cross the street unless you come to a crosswalk or you have a car.
Yeah, because we're not savages. We're
Right.
not jaywalkers.
you have the buddy system.
The buddy system, yeah,
Right.
can prevent you from getting bullied.
And you can, there's bullies that
bully in
can
the
steal
game.
your candy.
Steals your
No.
candy.
Is that the guy in the background
That's
there?
the guy right there in the background. Yeah.
And then the event cards, like when you go to when you go to certain people's houses, maybe they give out full-size candy bars.
Yeah. So basically, what it is everybody is competing. Everybody gets their own little trick or treat bags. You get to pick your own meeple for your own costume. And the cool thing is, you can go to Meeple Source and buy new costumes.
Right, whatever you want.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
nice.
a great time is to go to Gen Con and pick. They have a big bin of them. You just go through it. Yep. It's like 6 for $10 or something like that. And then so you pick your group, and your groups move at the same pace down the sidewalk, and whoever hits one of the spaces, it'll be a door card or an event card.
Right.
That plays itself out through there. And then everybody has their own little trick or treat bag. There's one big treat bag that has all the candy pieces in them. People so if you roll like a 3, you can go in there and grab 3 discs out. And
I was about to say,
They have
someone's
different-
like me and just brought the pillowcase.
yeah,
Right.
and they do have different values. So it goes from 0 to 5.
Right, depending on the candy.
Correct. King candies are worth 5.
Right.
You can get a mixtape worth 0, crayons, toothpaste. So
Right.
you can get
Cheese.
money. And money's worth nothing because it's not candy. But,
Right, because you're a kid.
Right. So, but when you make it all the way through the neighborhood and make it back to the party, everybody gets their own party card, and one of the party cards, it's a one last 50-50 good or bad thing. And one of them is called exchange rate. You get to exchange your money for candy
nice.
pieces.
And then isn't there like bonuses? Like sometimes there'll be like a bonus for like all the superheroes get an extra thing, or all the monsters,
There
or all
are
the
doors. Yeah, that's like, oh, aren't you cute? And then if you're a princess, a clown, and and something else. Like you get extra candy at the
Right.
house.
Mermaid, anyway.
And I think it's mermaid. So and then or it's like there's one. It's like, aren't you a little old? If you are physically the oldest trick or treater at the table, you do not get any candy at that house.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I seriously, we sat down and played that, and we're like, this game's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and like,
It plays so well, and people just have a great time with this game.
Yeah.
And we're really once we get Shadowgate done, this
Right.
is next on the docket next year. If we can get this out during Gen Con, we're going to be trying to work in the background to get this one pushed out
like
too.
right
after.
behind it. Yeah.
So that'd be really cool if we get this, because I'm telling you, this one has
It's a fun game.
this is great potential as far
Yeah.
as like the replayability. Because the thing
You
is,
can customize the heck out of it, right? You
and
just
it's
go
up-
and get all your own Star Wars meeples.
It sounds like
Yeah,
it's
the
super
DC
easy to learn
meeples.
too.
Yeah, the
DC
DC
meeple.
guys. Yeah.
You want to
You
play as
can-
Batman?
You
can
could
be
change
Batman.
the length of time you play.
Yeah.
If you need to
can,
shorten
you
it
can,
up.
You can shorten it up. Instead of having 6 tiles, you could start 4.
Right.
But kids never want to play just one game. Like we're
Right.
always playing multiple games, and it takes 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
to
it
play
did
through the entire
not.
game.
It did not
Fast.
take long teaching a group of people. Like we all are, and
And everybody gets 2 trick cards to start off with, and you can gain more as you go and things like that. So those are your versus elements, so you can play them against other players or against other groups or against the bully and things like that. as
Right.
you come to it.
Egg
So-
the bully.
Yeah, or against houses that don't give you any candy.
Right,
So there's,
right. Yeah, there's like
rolls
some
of-
TP
rolls-
cards,
rolls of
right?
toilet paper, explosion, and smashing pumpkins.
yes,
It's great. Yeah,
yeah, it's so good. It was
like I said, we tried to come up with every single scenario you could probably think of. Really
right,
come up with it.
right. Yeah,
There's lots of elements that bring the parents into the game. One of the party cards is dad tax.
Oh, parent tax.
Parent
oh
tax.
yeah, that's a real thing.
So
As a dad, that is a real thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
we really worked on trying to incorporate decision making, interest for the adults and the children.
Sure.
Do you know what the key is to this game?
What's
being
the
so
key?
successful? I guarantee you, fictional candy is better than no candy to kids.
That's true. That is true.
When kids, I'm telling you, we brought this over to a birthday party, not even anywhere near Halloween. We brought it over. This is when we first got it done, and kids saw this game and they were like, "We want to play that."
Yeah,
Like, we wanna play that.
yeah.
And we played like 6 times in a row. It was crazy, but But again, it's great. It was great to test it out on kids, see what they thought.
Right.
And
It's a great theme too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we try to theme it so it's usually 6 and older. Will be able kids who can read. It plays a little bit better. If you play with kids, I have a 9, 7, and a 5-year-old.
Okay.
The 5-year-old doesn't read well yet, so trick cards are optional to those kids. And if you do still play trick cards, you can't play them on the kid who
On the kid,
who
yeah,
doesn't have any.
that makes sense. Easy little rule.
And also, if kids are not good at math, instead of counting the points, you could just count the discs.
just count the candy, mount it, just bulk
Yep.
candy.
And it makes it easy. And like I said, we want to make it easy for kids and families to learn and be able to play and stuff like that. And especially with the COVID stuff going on, you don't even know if trick or treating is even going on this year or not.
Right.
So that's what we did. It snowed in Indianapolis last year. We ended up playing this, and the kids got to whatever they had in their bag. That however many pieces of candy they had, that's how many we
They got
gave
to,
them.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like this game here, I could play with my daughter. She's 8, almost 9, and would want to play over and over and over, and that's fine. But I could also like take this to a game night with grown men and women, and we would all sit and play this
Yeah.
and talk trash, and probably play like at least 2 games.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a great experience, a great time.
And with adults like that, you could probably divvy out more trick cards.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah,
and just
yeah.
go at it.
Get a little meaner.
Yeah,
with it.
you know what? That's honestly the great way of doing is being like getting the adults involved by playing the trick cards and really getting them to use it. Because a lot of times people are like a little shy. They don't really want, they don't really want to mess with their friends, whatever. But if it's just adults, especially people who are really close, they're like, oh yeah, you're going down.
Right, right. Yeah, my group, we are brutal.
There's a trick card called Choco Lax, and it's
yes.
Lax, and
Yes.
you miss out on like all the houses on that tile or whatever. It's great.
It's
fun.
It's a blast.
Yeah, I was really happy. I was having a good time, not only playing it, but then like going through some of the cards and looking at it afterwards.
There's something that we're toying with the idea of is coming out with a Christmas version of this game.
Okay.
And instead of playing as the good guys, like what if you were playing as Grinch type characters?
Grinch, right.
So you're going from
Oh.
house to house stealing Christmas stuff.
You roll for presents.
and it's definitely way more versus heavy, and you get snowball fights and things like that, and like there's a whole new set of dice for
You
the
could be
snowballs.
characters like that, like Krampus or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some of the weirder like Christmas mythology, like
Yeah.
Bells and Nickel or
Yeah,
whoever.
and it's cool because, like I said, it's way more versus heavy. And at the end, instead of there being like random party things, it's like awards, like the guy who maybe did something the most, or
Right.
maybe there's one like there's like a pity award or whatever. Whoever did the work, like whoever felt like was having the least fun time, like they got an award or whatever. And so
bah humbug.
yeah, we're kind of still working on that, but we have to figure out the logistics of it, whether or not we can do something like Grinch's, like if that's a feasible thing. Or
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
Dr.
you're probably not
Seuss's-
going to get
if
as
Dr.
lucky as
Seuss
you
has got-
did with
yeah.
with the Shadowgate,
Yeah,
where it's
right.
like, oh, here's all of the materials. Like,
Right.
build something out nice out of this.
Absolutely. And I would say another game that we're kind of promoting. Talking about getting lucky with. So I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan.
Oh yeah,
Huge Masters of the Universe fan.
yeah.
So
We were
my
probably
favorite-
close to the same age.
My favorite comic book line, because that's what got me into collecting from Masters of the Universe, was the comic book line. Not the mini comics, but the actual comic books.
Right.
Was this artist named Pop Man.
Mm-hmm.
He did almost the entire DC series a couple years ago, and I contacted him and said, "Hey, I'm looking to get some like a commission work done, like to
Okay.
get an art piece of this character named Despara.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool character. It's basically Adora before she becomes She-Ra. She's part of Hordak's group. She's ruthless.
Yeah.
Has this really cool mask. Looks like Hordak's mask, and it was really cool. I was like, I would love to get a commission artwork done.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, cool. So about a month later, he sends me the artwork or the picture of the artwork, and I'm like, it looks phenomenal. I'm like, this is amazing. I said, I'm gonna have you commission me to do a Skeletor. He's like, actually, there's something I want to talk to you about. And I was like,
Me?
Uh oh.
me? Who am I? And it's like, okay, what's up? And he's like, you make board games? And I'm like, yeah. How did you know that?
How did you
Well,
find out?
my PayPal that I paid him with was for my 317 films and
Sure.
games. So he looked me up online and saw that we had all these games digitized on Tabletop Simulator. He said, I'm making a card game that is kind of a kid-friendly card game, and I want to get it digitized. And I was like, I can help you out with that. And he's like, I'll throw in a Skeletor for free. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay. so I started building this friendship with my favorite DC artist.
That's
I'm like,
amazing.
What in the world?
Yeah.
That's
Like,
awesome.
It's like, who knew? What's the right be at 2020? So awesome. So the game that we're talking about is called RumboBots. It's strictly a card game for kids and things like that. You basically are racing to build these robots. Like if you can complete your robot before anybody else, you win the game.
Okay.
You can. There's also a player elimination where you can do enough damage to take someone out if you wanted to, and you can play up to 4 players per one deck and things like that.
Sure.
There's more information gonna be coming out on this. Maybe have you guys
Let us
play
know
test it,
because we would love to.
yeah.
I would. Yeah.
because
I'm familiar with the artist because I'm a comic book guy too.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah.
he's doing a Wonder Woman comic right now. He did Raven. He did Master of the Universe.
Okay.
He's done a lot of
Yeah.
different
His-
stuff.
it's really
he did
good.
the Flash for a long time.
Yes. It's really
And,
good. He's really good.
And he's super friendly. The guy he's our age, and the dude is so on the level. Like he jokes with me, like I'm like, man, it's like I've been friends with him for
That's
decades.
Awesome.
So,
Sometimes that's like the great thing about just doing what we do sometimes, right? Is that you get to meet not everybody you meet is going to be awesome or accommodating, but
Yeah.
when you meet them and you're already a fan and you're like, "Oh wait, you're super cool on top of being making things that I really like."
It really helps.
Yeah.
So,
Goes
but
a long way.
So we're promoting that game too. So
RumboBots.
RumboBots. So if you guys are interested, we're more than happy to lend you a copy.
I want
of
to
that
say too, I looked at the box art earlier and then it like immediately like caught my eye.
Yeah,
Just because like I don't know what it is. It has like the kind of like anime, almost
an
like
action
80s
scene.
cartoon
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, like an anime twist on a 80s.
Yeah, he's from the Philippines, and he actually had a cartoon deal with a company to do it, and then COVID hit, and then they had to back out of it.
Oh.
And but he's coming out with his own comic book for it.
Oh,
so
righteous.
That's cool. And it was cool because we did soon on the website you're going to see playtest demo that we did. We did a demo.
Yeah.
We did the tutorials
Sure.
and stuff like that, which he was totally blown away by, just like we did for Dave Marsh and Shadowgate.
Right.
And, but it stars my daughter. My daughter's just having this great old time playing and stuff like that. And
Nice.
he was like, "Well, I'm thinking I'm gonna probably make her a character in the game and in the comic book."
Whoa.
I'm like, "Sweet." So,
Jeez.
and she's like ecstatic. She's like, "Woo!"
Oh yeah, for sure. RumboBots. Okay, right on. So 317 films and games. So you guys make movies too?
We do.
Okay, so what kind of movies?
Right
I'm
now,
less familiar with the movie side. I know more of the game stuff.
we started doing movies back in high school and college and things like that. Mainly college, and you know, we were doing some video work in high school and stuff like that. But you know, we were fooling around with like superhero like movies back in college.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Carl, me and Carl were both in it, and John was in it too.
Really?
You know, so we're doing these
Yeah.
things, and you know, adding 3D graphic stuff is cool. But it's very dated. It's very
90s.
it's not really that
It's
great.
very much of its time,
The
right?
tech,
Yeah,
I mean, at the
absolutely.
time, yeah.
But we what started 317 Films is people at my work. There was about 6 people at my work who wanted to do movie making. They wanted to make their own film. They wanted to make a Dresden Files movie.
Oh, yes.
And I said,
Okay.
the problem is none of them had ever done a movie before. So it was
Oh,
like,
sure.
like you guys are, I said, hold on, guys. Like, hold on. I was trying to be the voice of reason. Like, hey, bring it down a little bit. Bring it down. Like, you guys aren't even, they haven't taken classes or anything like that. It's like, you guys need to know how to do all this stuff first. And like, you were talking about adding, you know, CG effects and things like that. Like, you have no idea the world you're
I
getting
mean, it's
into.
easy to say, oh yeah, and then this is going to happen.
Right.
Or find someone
so-
who really knows that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And unfortunately, I was kind of the guy. So I said, well, let me do this. How about I make my own movie? You guys can work on with something that you'll be project management or whatever to do that. I'll do my own stuff, my own project, and you guys can learn from what I'm doing. That way you can see how it's done and things like that. So you guys need to maybe start smaller and work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a movie on collectors and collecting.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a chance to travel around and get people from all over Canada, America, talk to people about their collections, why they collect what they do, and things like that. And it turned out really good. It was, you know, about an hour and a half long movie, and it turned out really good. It was very sentimental because we were just having my son at the time, and the story kind of shifted from people's collecting stuff to what's going to happen with my collection, because like the room that all my stuff
Right.
sits in is going to be this kid's room. Like,
Right,
what's going to happen
right.
to it? So it kind of took a different turn, and kind of
Good documentaries usually kind of start as one thing,
Yeah.
and then like something weird
Yeah.
happens while they're, and organically then the focus shifts.
I had a lot of interviews lined up with a couple celebrities, and they all backed out.
Oh.
And it was like it was kind of annoying because we drove to New Jersey, and they backed out as we were there, and it was like, you've got to be kidding me. We did get a chance to shoot some inside of the comic book men's store, like the
yep.
we'd shoot in the Jay and Bob's Secret Stash.
Yeah.
Right. Red Bank? Or
Yes.
is-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, right across the street, the Cake Boss had a
Yeah.
store. So we went in there, and like
I
we're
did
just
not know
looking
that
around.
was like right across the street.
It's
That
right
is
across
bizarre.
the street. Yeah. So they had an arcade a couple doors down that was this awesome arcade. It was an amazing arcade and things like so. Like I said, we were traveling around doing all this stuff, but it was so we made this documentary, and the other group completely disbanded. Like so they didn't make the movie. They didn't even have a project
Oh,
manager. So-
man.
and they were like, here's 317. I was like, I inherited a company.
So they just gave, because so were they intimidated by the project, or they just lose interest in another shiny thing come along?
The project, they didn't have a project lead, so it was one of those things like, you know, I kind of left them to do their own thing. Like, hey, you guys need to get someone who's going to man this. And, you know, as with making board games, making movies, making video games, you got to have someone who's got that drive.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've got to have someone who's got that drive to be able to finish the project, push through it, blood, sweat, tears, all of that.
Yeah, for
money
sure.
and things like that. We
Indeed.
actually got our movie funded on GoFundMe, I think it was. And,
Okay.
So it was one of those things where you just have to take those steps and just see it through. And
Right.
but that's how I ended up with 317 Films and Games, and it was like, okay, interesting. So
So you're filmmaker by trade,
yes,
right? And then the board game stuff is like that. You're just
Yeah.
I'm gonna just do what I love, right? Like get into my
Yeah.
hobby.
I mean, we all kind of, the group of us met just playing games. You
Okay.
know, playing Magic, playing board games. You know, we enjoy playing games. And, you know, I think that we've kind of always had that creative side to us, all of us, whether it be writing, visual art, you know,
Right.
whatever.
Mhm.
I mean, it does lend itself very well to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's other games we've worked on, you know, that we haven't covered, but it all kind of ties into all of our interests. You know, I work in insurance, you know, this is my creative outlet, you
Right.
know, you know, so,
Right.
yeah,
I get it. I'm a truck driver, but like this is my passion,
Yeah.
right? Board games
Yeah.
and stuff. Is,
Yeah.
what I'm excited about. Yeah, so I get it. That's awesome though. And again, like so when you do, I guess it's a benefit to you guys, right? So when you do your when you go to do Shadowgate, right, on Kickstarter or wherever you're going to launch, you already have the capability, the ability, you know exactly what you want, and you can produce exactly like that Kickstarter video that you want, right? That trailer video you want.
Absolutely.
Because instead of having to like farm it out and then maybe it's not what you want.
Yeah. On the website, I've got a video of like my Shadowgate collection. You should check it out.
I will.
Cool.
I will.
I have probably I can't even say probably. I have the most extensive Shadowgate collection on the planet.
I was gonna say you probably do.
Nice.
I've got a lot of one of kind things, stuff, prototypes, like all kinds of crazy stuff.
That's
But that's
awesome.
from knowing the guy who.
Well, it helps, right? It goes.
Yeah.
But you were already halfway there before he.
Oh, yeah,
he
absolutely.
hooked you up, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool, though.
I got a replica of the Staff of Ages for payment for doing the Argonist trailer. Awesome.
Nice.
It
You'll
was
see it on
like
the
full
video.
scale replica too.
No,
or-
they did make one, but no, they did.
It's like
quarter
it's,
scale.
It's like it's like this.
That's still
tall.
pretty.
Yeah, it still would be a cool thing to like have on a shelf, like on your
Yeah.
desk. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty.
I bring it
pretty
to all of
cool.
our game nights.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Just so you know, this first player token, and it's mine, so I always get to go first, and nobody touch it. Don't even look at it.
yeah, don't do it. Yeah, but no, it's been a blast. With just coming up with the ideas and stuff, and thankful to Dave Marsh for allowing us to be able
That
to
is
have that
well. It's so
creative-
excellent when you can meet a content creator you really like, right, and then they just reciprocate, you know,
Yeah.
and
And can I say too, the fun thing is about taking these to like the board game conventions. Indie Storm, we took it to the first time. Same way with taking it to Protospiel. You inevitably run into someone who's seen Shadowgate, and they go,
yeah, that was
Yeah.
me at our Protospiel. that
It's-
was me.
Yeah, at Indie Storm, we ran into a guy who was he was giddy. I mean, it was one of those things like he's sitting there, he's just like, I can't believe this is real.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is happening. And it was funny. He just had a smile from ear to ear, and that's what it's about. It's
Right.
just connecting with the people who are familiar with it. People, like I said, showing new people how to play the game and things like that. Just
Yeah,
get
when
them
Tim
involved.
told us like there was gonna be a Shadowgate game, I like kind of did a double take.
a
Like,
what?
wait, you mean the video game
Point and click
board
adventure.
game? What?
Yeah.
Multiplayer. How do you do that? Yeah.
Well, and again, it was like there was because of COVID and everything, right? We had this gap where it's like, okay, hey, we're gonna get together, we're gonna do this thing, and then there was this big gap, and it was I was so glad that we were able to still make this happen,
Yes.
and that this is you know, because you there's nothing worse than getting excited about a project and then it's just gone.
Well, and
know,
I hope
yeah.
I hope we explained it well. This is the first interview we've done for the game, so
No,
but hopefully first of many.
I feel
so
yeah,
I'm
for
hoping.
sure. I feel like I understand the game, you know, and could probably play it with just a little bit of rules referencing, like, oh yeah, what does this do again?
Yep, and that's basically it. Like I said, it's all about trying to get the experience points. Whoever gets the most experience points in the end wins. So
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
So you said you want to get this out by Gen Con next year, right?
a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, yes.
Yep. Trying to have it
So-
out by the end of next year.
Maybe for people watching this, where's the next place that you might be able to see this and play it in person? If
That's a good question.
yeah.
I know Indie Storm in Indianapolis is coming up. I don't know if it got pushed back to April. It was
Okay.
supposed to be January or February, like the last weekend in January, I think it was. But it may have been pushed back to April because of the COVID stuff, trying to get stuff back open.
Sure.
So
Keep your eyes and ears open.
yeah, any place that we're going to have. That, by the way, thank you for asking that, because keep an eye on the 317 Games website for the we'll have information there, and if you're there, you can sign up for updates. We can send out mass
Get on
emails.
that
Yes,
newsletter.
we can get on a mailing list. We'll let you know what's going on with it, when Kickstarter's going live, when we're going to be at places to be able to play test and things
Sure.
like that. Just really, really excited. Like I said, to be able to show it off and things, because I think it will grab a lot of people. I think a lot of people will really like it.
Right. I mean, just for a prototype, an advanced prototype copy. I mean, your components are, they're nice. It looks good. It looks pretty.
We don't do anything, half-assed around
No,
here.
no, not at all. But that's great and that's kind of the fun thing at Protospiel, right? Is you see the projects in all forms, right? You see the bare bones, like this is clearly
Yep.
this guy just wrote this out.
this on the card.
And you've got just random bits from different games, and then there's games that are basically fully produced,
Sure.
and
there's a lot of good resources out there for game designers to use to create games.
Yeah.
You can use your note cards and whatnot, but there are pretty affordable resources out there if you want to create games. And
these were all done through the GameCrafter.com.
Okay, yeah, these are really good. These are really good. Yeah, we've been looking at GameCrafter stuff.
I'd love to be able to sell it through GameCrafter, but it gets to be expensive. I mean, the prototype costs about $120 to make.
Sure. And then with Kickstarter, though, you probably have potentially have a better price point.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You can,
with the production company.
Yeah.
Right.
And the larger market range,
Units,
I'd say, too.
It also brings up a good segue. We're looking to hit around the $40 price range.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, especially for everything
that's great.
you're getting, yeah.
And then you could even, I'm assuming will this be a board in the game?
Yes, this will be included in the game.
No, he's asking if it's a board.
Or is this going to be a neoprene mat?
This will be a neoprene mat.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yep. I've already started talking to the manufacturers about that, making sure that this is a thing. So
I actually really like that because when you guys were showing it off, it didn't look like the cards were like sliding around.
I'm telling you, when we were playing on tables and it was flat, it was so hard to pick these things up.
Right.
As long as they're on a neoprene mat, it makes them way
and on
easier.
boards. Like
and
it was hard to play with
even
boards.
on like the
Yeah, because you got to kind of almost slide it to the edge sometimes to get it to where you can.
And it was very difficult. So, but
yeah, no, that's awesome. And again, that price point, man.
We're trying to get the expansion to be $10 a piece.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all. That's very, very standard, if not like slightly below what like some of the average cost is on Kickstarters, because we look at a lot of them because we like to talk about them anyways on our show, but as just a gamer, like, oh, what's on Kickstarter, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a whole segment about it.
Yeah. And then like I see you have like the Kickstarter exclusive expansion, so that'll be like an exclusive thing via Kickstarter only.
It's $10 a piece for each one of these.
Right on.
So that'd be really cool. Yeah, we're really excited. I think we can do really well as long as we get the word out there and make sure that people.
That's it, right? You just got to have enough people to know about it. You benefit from being able to travel around though and do some. Do some stuff.
And hopefully we have some videos of gameplay videos, like tutorial videos on how to set it up and things like that. So make it easy.
Do you have like a Twitter, Facebook, Instagram presence?
Actually, we don't.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, we're working on it.
When you do, like, let us know. We're happy to share the stuff.
Yeah.
And I will say once you get that, but all the links of what we've been talking about will be down below in the description.
There you go.
And maybe it will appear on screen as I'm talking.
Oh,
if I'm
well, that's
if I'm
up to
feeling
you.
Fancy, yeah.
That's up to you. You're the editor. Yeah, that's our other host, Dan. That's his thing. He likes to do that. So now something has to pop up there. I don't know what it'll go to. Just throw it up to 317 Films and Games. Sure. That'd be the best way to do it. There you go. Right on, guys. I really look forward to playing this.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks super
I want to play it.
interesting.
I want to do I look forward to kind of filming like a review video of it. It probably will not be up to the 317 film quality or what you guys are capable of, but we're happy to do a hack job on it and
no, that's fine.
And check it out.
We're happy to have you guys play test it and see what you apart from us, see what you think about it.
Right, and that's sometimes that's the thing, right? Is playing it without the designer teaching you. So because for me. And some of the other guys that I play with, we tend to be like the guys that have to teach the games.
Sure.
So it's like, oh, we've got to learn it, and then we've got to teach it other people. And so like, one of the things I like to take into consideration when we review stuff is like, well, how hard was it to learn?
Yeah.
How intuitive is it? Is the rule book like? Because we actually just like a week ago played this awesome game. We really loved it, but there was stuff for a track in like page 3, and then there's other information on like page 14 about the track, and there was no way to know like I'm looking at this page and it doesn't say anything about what I'm trying to figure out, but it's this, it's about this track, and it didn't even say, look at page blah 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 for this, and we're just like, oh, just tighten those rule books up, and it can be a killer sometimes.
I will say the instruction for anybody who's a board game developer, like. Instructions are the scariest thing on the planet.
I can't even imagine.
You've got especially anything that's semi, difficult to learn. Like
those who can't critique, right? So like I can just sit here and complain and bitch and moan about all this stuff, but I haven't created a rule book. So.
Yeah, we've got two. We actually have two rule books in here. One is basically how the game plays. The other one is understanding the components.
Okay.
So any other various rules.
Sure. Sure.
Trying to make it easy to look through. Like again, you could use this to basically learn how to play the game. To understanding the components, you'd want to look at the components manual.
Sure. Well, yeah. No, it's great. That is great. And it also helps, right? You guys are board gamers. You play Magic. You play Magic board games. So, okay, I got to ask, just 'cause I'm curious, like, what are some of your favorite board games? Or is it Magic? Like,
I like Betrayal House. I have a pretty much complete, like, collection of Nightmare and Atmosphere games.
I love Nightmare and Atmosphere.
I have every single one of the iterations. I have this. There was a soundtrack that I've only seen on eBay once.
Okay.
And it's in fantastic. It was the soundtrack.
I've never seen the soundtrack.
The movie. Well, you see the music video, Thrill Me?
Yes.
Like, okay, there's 4 different versions of that song on this disc.
Oh,
and
wow.
I've never seen this disc anywhere. And I saw it up online and I picked it up and it's like they didn't even credit the band on the music video. You had no idea what you were looking for. And then I found out it's like, oh, the people who did this, their band is called Twilight. That's nice to know. And like I've got the computer game, I've got the card game, I've got everything.
So as a kid, I had the VHS like coffin box, right? When it was called Nightmare.
Yep.
And then I had the Baron Samedi, the
Nightmare 2. Yep.
there was a witch, wasn't there?
That was Nightmare 3. Yep.
And there was another. It seems like
vampire.
It was the vampire.
Yeah.
So I had all of those VHS, blah blah blah. Then I was a kid, and they got wrecked, lost, whatever. And then I got the Atmosphere, the DVD with the Harbingers.
Yep.
And then there's one other one that I
game.
have, and I can't think of what it
Rangers.
is.
Soul Rangers. And there were 2 booster VHSs for the first Atmosphere game. I found those online.
Oh, yeah?
I digitized those, put them on DVD, and on just a regular video file so we can play or whatever.
I'm gonna have to look some
then
of these up.
They came out with a DVD version of Atmosphere that was like a randomized DVD, so no game plays the same.
Oh, okay.
Really cool, really good idea. But it was kind of a remake of the first one, kind of played very similar. Then they came out with a Khufu, which was a European one.
Interesting.
But it was totally different. It was the same game, but it was like gambling themed. It was like like a casino. It was really weird. But
like that game. What's funny is that game I've never played with board gamers.
Yep.
I've got friends that we would go to like Wizard World in Chicago,
Yeah.
and we'd all shack up in the same hotel room for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
So you fill the bathtub full of beer,
Yeah.
and we just drink beer and play Nightmare or Atmosphere and make fun of each other for getting yelled at by the gatekeeper. Shut up! Like all the things he would say. Come closer. Who is the player? Who?
Yeah.
And right on. I have to now. Like I need to see your Atmosphere Nightmare collection.
It's pretty extensive.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, right on, guys. Thanks for coming. Making the trek up to
Yes, thanks very much.
South Bend to do this with us.
Like I said,
I'd been excited about this for months since I knew it was a thing.
I've been excited to bring it up to you guys for months. I'm like, I wanted to get this up to you so you can show it to you because I know you didn't get a chance to play it at Pro Spiel.
Right.
Like man, like I know he really wanted to play that and we just ran out of time.
I would say the timing though is better also though in a way because I feel our show has evolved. We were pretty new when we first started talking to you. We're still new, but like we've done a lot more stuff. We're capable of more things now.
Okay.
So it's nice to be able to kind of maybe give you a better representation than we were initially. So it kind of worked out maybe the way it should have. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming up here and taking the time because I'm excited. I'm excited about this.
I look forward to seeing your guys' review of the game.
Excited to play it and check it out. And and also future projects, right? Like let us know, right? I mean, we would love to review, talk about, promote, because I mean, it's rising tide raises all ships,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, well, like we said, when we start getting Trick or Treat going, we'll get
Oh
you.
yeah,
We'll get
you don't have a
prototype.
choice. We
We'll
will
get your-
stalk you for that one. I was already going to stalk you for Shadowgate.
We
so
will
like,
play it in costume on camera.
yeah, we could.
Yeah, we took Trick or Treat to several proto spiels, and people were like, "This is like the best game in the whole place." And I was like, I kind of feel that way too. It's really good. and not to brag about it, but it's just so much fun.
It's a fun game.
That's it. It's a 15-minute game where you're just having a blast. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get Descent. The Descent vibe. Satisfaction of play or Betrayal, a House on the Hill, right? It's Trick or Treat.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's you guys. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with
Well,
in the future because
Thanks, Tim.
this I haven't played yet, but this excites me. And I played that, and I know it's great.
Yeah.
So it's and also check out
RumboBots.
RumboBots.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you a copy of that.
So-
Just out too.
So yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for coming
Thanks
on.
very much.
Make sure it is 317 Games and Film,
either
or
one.
Film and
So
Games.
it's 317films.com or 317games.com.
Okay,
Either one will take you to the same place.
Okay,
Awesome.
perfect. So guys, please check them out. They're all
Please.
obviously nice people, right?
Please come check us out.
They put up with us for a little bit, so
Yeah.
I mean that says a lot about their character. And always like, subscribe. Thank you for watching this version of the Board Game Rundown. Hope you like Shadowgate. It's worth looking up. You can find soundtracks. The soundtrack's great. The new one or the NES one, if
The
you're a
NES
nerd
one?
like me. If you like the that old school 8-bit Nintendo music.
Absolutely.
But the new soundtrack is kind of just like a re-implementation of that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's all done, redone. It's gorgeous.
I could
Beautiful
go on a
music.
tangent again about it. So thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
Have a good one. Yep.
God, this looks so good.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.